welcome to Talks with Dorks. Yeah, I'm only a couple of episodes in and I've already taken the driver's seat away from Ryan. I have gone mad with power. This is the podcast for Never Say Die. We are promoting that huge wrestling event that is taking place in Basildon Sports and Leisure Club on the 31st of May, and tickets are going fast. Genuinely flying off. I've had about multiple updates throughout the day today, and they are going well. It is going to be an awesome event. Look forward to seeing you down there if you're already there, but get to Eventbrite and get your tickets if you haven't already. And it's if you needed reason enough to get there, with all the amazing matches, with all the content creators we've got down there as well. We've got just a few of the faces that are involved in that amazing show with us today. But first, I am joined by my partner in crime for today. We've been let off the leash with no Ryan here. Tony's with us.
Yes, Kurt. Good evening.
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
But also, we are joined today by, firstly, the amazing and one half of the Strong Dads. Sunset Skip is with us. Of course, we caught up with RJ Singh not that long ago, both of which are going to be on that show. Skip, how you doing, mate?
I'm wonderful, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a long time coming, and I've got quite a few things to say in the direction of Sullivan King and Richie. So, yeah, it's nice to have that platform.
Oh, yeah, we'll be diving into all of that as we go, don't you worry. But Skip's not alone today. We also have Elliot James.
Hey, hey.
And your eyes may deceive you. It is very close to the American Nightmare, although the accent might give it away. But we have the Cosplay Nightmare joining us today as well. How you doing, mate?
Hi, guys.
You all right?
I'm good. How are you guys?
All grand. All the better for seeing you. I'm getting starstruck, genuinely. So, all three of you are involved in Never Say Die in some way, shape or form, and we'll get to all of you as we go. And I'm curious on your thoughts and opinions on some of the stuff that's coming up on the show as well, and some of the stuff that's already been discussed on previous episodes of the podcast and on the socials, and even in the little private WhatsApp chat that we've had. There's been some promo battles happening there as well. But Skip, I want to start with you. In fact, I know Tony's got a question or two himself that he might throw your way as well. I've already talked way too much.
Absolutely. Well, Skip, this is round two for me and you, isn't it? We had a few tech issues before.
We did, yes.
And,
hopefully IT will work today. If not, we will have
to
smoke signals.
Them IT goblins, us old boys, we can deal with smoke signals, but we got a couple of young bucks in the house, so let's try this tech way first.
Hopefully, let's do it.
Well, Skip, thanks for coming back on, and thanks for being a part of this, what is going to be absolutely awesome show. When we had you on before, we did start talking about your history and your beginnings, and if you don't mind, just if we can run that back, let's hear it. Where did Sunset Skip come from?
So it all depends on which lineage of Sunset Skip you're going for, but the long story short is that Sunset Skip's been wrestling for now 23 years. It'll be 23 years since my first match in November. That was in early November 2002. And since then, I've wrestled across the UK, across the Middle East, and had a long and very, very enjoyable and somewhat illustrious career, I'd like to say.
So, as a wrestling fan, because that's literally all I am, I don't know what I'm actually doing hosting a show. As a wrestling fan, I grew up with the understanding that there's a few places to go and wrestle. So, yeah, England is one of them. America and Canada are the obvious other choices. But then when you go into Europe, Germany was always a name. I'd never heard of anyone making towns over in the Middle East. No. So how's that come about?
Well, it came about from the shoot job, but also when I was out there was a fledgling wrestling scene out in the United Arab Emirates that I was really fortunate to be a part of. It was under the name of Dubai Pro Wrestling at the time. And it was really a start-up because it's a huge market out there. They love anything that's entertainment form. and live events are so huge, and it was an absolutely wonderful experience. Incredible things were happening there, and now it's I suppose grown into Wrestling ME, quite a incredible promotion where they've got such great production value, and the wrestlers are getting so much more seasoning. They've got guys flying in from the UK, Japan, all sorts to go over there. So to be a part of those fledgling steps out there was absolutely brilliant.
When we talking? When was you out there?
I was out there from 2015 to 2017.
Okay. Any intentions of going back? Is the door open for you?
I'd like to think so, and if the stars can align properly one day, I'd like to. In Arabic, there's a word, inshallah, and inshallah, I'll be out there one day in the future.
I mean, how does it compare to wrestling in the UK? I mean, if nothing else, I can only imagine the heat.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I saw on my Facebook memories, it was a week ago today. 8 years and a week ago today. It was on the 6th of May. It was we wrestled on a beach bar called Zero Gravity, and it was 40 degrees outside. And I've never experienced heat like it, both in terms of warmth and in terms of reception. But what was quite fun, it was that weekend we were the sandwich in between Justin Bieber, because he had an impromptu appearance there on the Friday. We had our event on the Saturday, and then he appeared again on the Sunday. So I've somehow been in the middle of Justin Bieber without really trying.
Put that on a t-shirt and it sells.
Absolutely.
Skip is the Bieber sandwich. Yeah. And we've got now we've got a name for tonight's episode.
There we go.
Yeah, we're clipping that.
And of course, you've mentioned, and anyone that's following knows that you are a tag team partner of RJ Singh.
Absolutely.
I've known RJ a little bit from his Progress days. He's been kind enough to allow me into somewhat of a friendship circle, so got to know him a little bit over the last few years. So tell us how that's come about. How are you the Strong Dads? Where's that come from?
Well, RJ and I have known each other for forever. He started just a few months before me in wrestling. I know RJ mentioned it in the previous pod that I listened to the other day. The class that we came through with was illustrious, absolutely incredible stalwarts of the wrestling scene who did well across the UK, Europe, and across the world. And RJ was in that group that we came through. We always knew each other and were always friendly. And then over the last few years, where our children, who are both very, very similar in age, we just bonded over that. And from then on in, the Strong Dads were formed. We're pretty much inseparable now. Our wives almost joke that we are each other's true wives.
Well, brilliant. Thank you very much for that lowdown. And we look forward to seeing the Strong Dads in action at Never Say Die. May 31st, Basildon Sport and Leisure Club. Drop 1. Also, speaking of drops, because Ryan's not here, we've got to do the name drop. Ash. There you go. We've mentioned him. That's out the way now. Ash has been mentioned. Ryan would be happy.
So, Skip, we'll come back to you very shortly because, of course, you are wrestling on the Never Say Die card, and I know you've got some opinions or two about your competition, so to speak. And RJ chimed in with a thought or two when Ryan was catching up on him not that long ago. I'm curious where we might stand. But firstly, I want to turn to our other two guests who've been waiting very patiently in the wings. Elle, if I can turn to you first, mate. Firstly, I have to salute you on your wall decor. You've one-upped myself and Tony with 2 Never Say Die posters.
Yeah, they are not going to be up there very long because I'm going to tape them outside the front of my house once I've done all my videos in the next couple of days. Get the extra promotion out there. Because I'm only in Southend, so I'm not a million miles from Basildon. I may get I'm right down the road from a school, so the idea is people might see it.
This could be really weird. Like, I'm also in Southend, just down the road from a school. Elle, are we neighbours?
I'm sort of down Southend Eastway. Whereabouts are you?
This is going to mean nothing to most people who are listening, but I need to know this. I'm down Bournemouth Park Road, if you know where that is.
Yeah, that's not too far from me. Yeah.
That would have been the biggest small world example ever if I could literally bang on my wall and Elle goes, "Who's that?" But Elle, I mean, I could go many routes with this, but I think I need to start by talking about your career as a referee. So, I mean, might as well start from the beginning. How did you get involved in that in the first place?
I'm going to try and keep this kind of concise because it gets kind of weird. But essentially, so did anyone remember Fighting Spirit magazine back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was an advert in that which I'm trying to sort of think back now. Because I'm skipping over the whole bit where Triple H got offended about a photo in that magazine, which weirdly led me to finding this advert in a later issue, which was for basically anyone who wanted to get involved in wrestling.
Right.
Not necessarily the wrestling aspect, but basically everything else. And that led to a seminar run by a chap by the name of Alex Shane, who is not in the best of stead with the world right now, and while I always got on with him, I can understand the people who have issues with him because our relationship did have its contentious moments, so I'm not going to try and dwell on that too much. But so that it started from that seminar, and from there that involved me getting involved with the second run of the FWA, which not quite as highly thought of as the first, unfortunately. We would have liked the money to come in to the level that it did the first time round, but alas, it just didn't quite work out that way. But that got me involved with Len Davis, who did the production side. And so Len ran a place called RQW House, which had a training school, and so they did like referee training. And so I think it might have just been one or two sessions with Steve Linsky, and it kind of picked up from there. I remember the first show I did was, I think it was a Village Fate, and Skip was in the main event. You remember, don't you?
I do, very much.
Yeah,
so.
I think it was Exodus you're facing.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that was my first time refereeing, and yeah, I was sort of the trouble is I sort of became a jack of all trades because I refereed odd things here and there. Apparently, I was the referee for the first time that Johnny Kidd and Johnny Storm ever faced off, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Also refereed the first singles match Elton Prince ever had. Not only that, I came up with the finish, which would have been freaking fantastic had someone smartened up the ring announcer. Because we were doing like a public warning system, but no one had ever told the ring announcer this. So I do a public warning, and I just get a blank look, all while Elton's opponent nutshots him. And so the crowd are like, what's going on? And I'm just standing there like, public warning, that's what I want. And being met by this look of, what? So yeah, funnily enough, Elton doesn't think too highly of that match, and I don't blame him.
It's worth a mention. I'm the announcer for Never Say Die. I won't do you dirty like that.
But yeah, so I've refereed sort of like odds and ends. I've also I was filming a lot for Wrestle Talk and New Generation Wrestling up in Hull, and I also was an announcer for Hearts and Essex Wrestling, which actually, because I actually took some time off, and that's actually Hearts and Essex Wrestling that is the reason I'm here doing this at the minute, because basically I went through a phase where I was just like, I'm kind of done with this. I had fun, but the mileage just took its toll on me. It just wasn't it didn't seem worth it. And then the promoter for Hearts and Essex, Sammy Nee, wanted me to call their retirement match because they loved the way I called their stuff. And I was like, okay, fine. You're a good friend. You've been good to me over the years. I'll come back one more time for you. And it was, and I did it one more time. And then Sammy, about 6 months ago, tragically died. But there was one more Hearts and Essex show in the books. And so a group of us just got together and said, well, look, let's do it all for Sammy, but all the profits, just send it to their family. So for like the funeral costs or whatever, and it's just I don't know whether it was just like the emotion of that everyone was feeling there, but I just sort of at the end of it, I actually turned to Brett Meadows and I said, you know what, if you ever need me for World War Wrestling, I think I'm prepared to come back. And then like a month later or so, Ryan sort of was announced this show, and I just sent him a message on the off chance. I was like, well, I'm local, I've refereeing experience. If you want me, just let me know. And he messaged back like that afternoon. He was like, you know what, I could do with someone with experience because I haven't got a referee on the card at the minute. So yeah, come on down. That's kind of what's got me back into this. So. I've literally now I've just come from the KWA as a local wrestling school to me. I've literally just been filming one of my videos there, and so if I'm looking a little flushed, it's because I've literally just come straight out of the ring into my house basically. So yeah, that's my story.
What a grafter.
I mean, what's worse is before I went to the gym today, I went to the dentist and had some fillings put in, and so they were like, "Oh, well, you're here. Do you want to run some drills with us?" So I did some rolls, got up, and instantly fell over because the anaesthetic in my face just knocked my balance. I was just like, I think I'll sit out for another hour or so.
People watching you as a man with experience going, "Wow, he's really good at selling." That's. He does the jelly legs like no one else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ric Flair has the Flair flop. You got your own thing there, mate. I mean, you talk about doing your videos as well. I mean, you've been cataloguing your journey towards Never Say Die as well with your videos as well.
Yeah, I think I'm only going to. I think due to time, I'm only going to be able to release 2 more. But I think it was only 3 more weeks till the show anyway. But
yeah, we're getting close.
like I said, I've been doing one today, which I'm not sure if that's going to be this week's or next week's. It depends on whether I get time to record the other one I want to record before I go away for a few days. So.
In fact, it's worth a mention, by the way, you mentioned the date of the show. We're filming this a week in advance, so when this goes out, it will be the 20th, most likely, at which point we are, blimey, 11 days away from the show.
It's very real.
Get those tickets already.
Where from?
Oh, Eventbrite, of course.
On the... I'd point to the QR code, but I think it's a bit far away on my screen.
That's when you just screen grab this video and zoom in. You have a poster here. You have a poster with Tony. You have 2 posters with Elle. If you can find the QR code from there, it is most likely linked in the video description as well. Just go to Eventbrite and search Never Say Die as well. It's all on there. Get those tickets. 11 days left, guys. It feels like it's still months away, and oh, blimey, I'm genuinely getting excited for it now. Like, it's that close.
It's feeling a lot like Christmas, where you got the build up, you've got all the expenses, you've got all the planning, and it's going to be the most hectic day, and then afterwards we're just going to be sitting there wondering what the hell's just happened, and we're going to feel a whole lot older for it. And then we get to look forward to doing it again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're not planning on doing this as a one-off. But, all going to plan. We want this to keep coming around. I mean, it doesn't always have to be Goonies themed. There are many different avenues we can go down this. In fact, I was
actually talking with Ryan about this a few weeks ago when I picked up the posters off him, and we were just sort of throwing out ideas. So yeah, there is definitely a lot of ideas that Ryan sort of hinted at when I was talking to him. Yeah, I
mean, we've already been. Me and Ryan have also been brainstorming names and the like as well. Just we say, if we want to carry on down like the classic movie route with films that are turning 30 or 25. Top Gun turns 30. I mean, right there, you can call a show Danger Zone. I mean, it's right there. Yeah, we're definitely planning on going, the whole hog with this if we can.
Transformers film is 40 next year. If we do it like title tournament, only one shall stand.
Oh. You got the touch.
We've got better things to do tonight than die.
Do you know what? Let's just lob off the wrestling talk
Oh.
for the rest of this podcast now and just talk about like classic films that we like.
Sounds good.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But before we do that, let's introduce our next guest, who's been sitting there so patiently. Bless him. Wrestling has more than one royal cosplayer, and we've got the cosplayer in the house tonight, the cosplay nightmare. Welcome to the podcast, and welcome to Never Say Die.
Hi there, thanks for having me. You're very, very kind in what you're saying. There's a lot of good wrestling cosplayers out there, so very kind in saying that I'm one of the top ones.
You're damn Skippy. We wouldn't have you booked otherwise, would we?
Yeah, we only book the best.
I'm sure there's a really, really good Midian cosplayer out there somewhere. We could have had him. But
That's so
Could you imagine?
niche.
Could you imagine? Just a
What
naked
era of Midian are we
cosplayer?
talking about?
Well, it's got to be naked Midian, hasn't it? That's the
yeah, of course, yeah.
It's minimal effort cosplay. I mean,
In fact, I don't know how flattering this is, El, but if you took off your shirts, put on a bum bag, just saying, there's
I don't
Maybe?
know. I always used to get X-Pac when I still had colour in my hair.
that's better.
Well, he's looking a bit grey these days, so could always.
Well,
do
he's
a
also
model,
looking a bit bolder as well. So
Hey, nothing
This
wrong
is
with that.
That's right. But yeah, Kev, thank you very much for joining the team. Thank you very much for being on the show. I think it's about time we heard from you. So, the American cosplay, that's kind of your thing right now. But you did before we press record. You told us a little bit about your start of cosplay. So talk us through what got you started, why you are a cosplayer, and tell us a little about some of the characters you've been playing previous.
Well, I mean, things go a bit further back than just the cosplay journey because I actually used to wrestle myself. And when I say I used to
Really?
wrestle myself, I don't mean I physically wrestled myself. I mean
we
I
all
used
do
to
it, man.
I
There's
used to
no
wrestle.
shame.
I mean my paths crossed with Skip a couple of times. He and I actually he carried me through a match. This is the God's honest truth. He carried me through one of my personal favourite matches. It was a long time ago. Yeah, I used to wrestle. And then I kind of accepted the fact that I wasn't a great wrestler. I was a skinny guy with a good jump, so the big guys like to throw me around. But I've always been a born entertainer, so it was just about trying to find another way of putting on a elaborate costume and entertaining people, and that's where the cosplay and the wrestling sort of like overlapped for a little while, and then once I really got into the hobby, I sort of like pushed away from the wrestling, and as I said off air, I've done the Green Arrow was my first cosplay. I'm best known for, before the Cody stuff, I was best known for the Green Arrow, John Constantine, Spider-Man, Gambit, but wrestling never goes away, does it? So how do you integrate the two hobbies? And I just always been a Cody Rhodes fan, and he's got some fantastic costumes, some absolutely fantastic jackets. I bemoan the jackets now because they're really heavy with those pauldrons, which I hand make those pauldrons as well. I don't slack. All the gems that go onto the costumes, I do them myself as well. So when he has a basic costume that I can work on, I'm quite happy, because when those elaborate ones come out, everyone's like, "Oh, Kev, you've got to do this one." It's just like, I really don't want to. That's a lot of work.
Kev sitting up
So
at the crack of
there's
dawn.
two things.
Why didn't I do Midian? Why didn't I do Midian?
There's two things I'm taking away from that. One is the word pauldron. That's new to me. Thank you for expanding my vocabulary there. And then this small world situation we've got going on. Elle's worked with Skip. You've worked with Skip. Like this, like the phrase "it's a small world." Like, cool, it works in some situations, but I've never met Beyonce in Morrison's. I want it to be that small world.
6 degrees of skiperation's a thing, man. I could probably get to Beyonce in about 3.
I was going to say, it's not a small world.
hold on, I
It
can't.
just gets around.
I can get
If
to,
you want a small world, one of my friends is Batman.
I can get to Beyonce in 3.
Go on, let's have it then.
Hold on, might be 4. So, my sister went to school with Lewis Hamilton.
Right.
Lewis Hamilton was with Nicole Scherzinger from Pussycat Dolls. Pussycat Dolls supported Beyonce on tour.
And now I've met Skip, so now I'm only 5 away. We're getting close. We're getting
Right.
close. It's not Morrison's, but we're getting there.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, I think she might be an Azure girl. Waitrose.
She seems to, actually, yeah. Yeah, she definitely shops at Waitrose for a quinoa. That's absolutely what happens.
I've been in a Waitrose, mate. I've not seen any Beyonces there.
Plenty
Hold
of
down my
Hugos
local
and
at least.
Mungos.
Definitely Hugo's, a few Tarquins. Kev, we've learnt a little bit about your background. We've learnt about how you've become the cosplay nightmare. We also know that you're involved and have an affiliation with the Hot Tag Foundation. Can you tell us a little more about them? They are coming to the event, Never Say Die. Can you tell us and the viewers exactly who they are and what they do?
So Hot Tag Foundation, very, very important to me. Very, very important partnership. They're a wonderful non-profit. They go around wrestling companies and they just provide a service. I think one of the key things about wrestling shows is capturing kids' attentions, and sometimes that does waver. Even when you've got absolutely fantastic matches going on, kids don't always pay attention all the time. So what Hot Tag Foundation provide at wrestling shows is some sign making, some colouring, just some activities on the side that kids can then, they can make their sign for the next wrestler, throw it up, and really get the kids excited. And one of the other things that Hot Tag Foundation pride themselves on is help with mental health. If you need someone to just sit down and talk with, whether you've got any issues or you just want to talk to someone, the guys at Hot Tag Foundation are on board to help out and to be there. As I said, they're a wonderful company. They're a giving company. They run fantastic promotions. Is that the right term? I'm not sure. But over Christmas, they do the Toil Rumble, where they collect donations of toys and give them to needy kids. This year over Easter, they did Degeneration Eggs, where they did the exact same thing but with Easter eggs. And as I said, they're absolutely exactly that. They're just there to give back with a wrestling theme, and they're a wonderful team.
And you mentioned the
one of them's better have been a better Easter egg.
Oh yeah. You mentioned the sign creation as well. They are going to be doing that at Never Say Die. They're going to have a little stand up, so any kids and adults for that matter who want to make their signs can come and do that as well. And I love that you say they do the support for the kids, especially because I think on behalf of probably that 75% of wrestling fans, like most of us got into this as kids, and it was pure superheroes come to life, pure escapism, and let's be honest, most of us stay wrestling fans for longer because it just makes us feel like a big kid again.
That's absolutely true. You've hit the nail on the head there. I think we all got into it as kids when we were talking off air, and just giving the kids a bit of extra interaction. Again, I go back to the sign making. Who doesn't want to have a sign? At local shows, sometimes the kids aren't going to know the wrestlers' names until they come out. So then you've got the opportunity to quickly make a sign, and then you can just throw it up while they're while they're in the ring. They're doing their thing. Hopefully, we get plenty of Sunset Skip signs out there. I'll certainly be pushing for that.
I'll be there.
Well,
like I said, we're all big kids.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'll be elbowing the little ones out of the way. Come on.
Well, all the guys that will be there on behalf of Hot Tag will be in cosplay as well. So a little added extra interaction for the guys as well.
Do we get any insight into who they
Amazing.
might be yet, or are you keeping that as a surprise?
Well, there'll be a Lita cosplayer
Sold.
for the Attitude Era fans. There'll also be an Undertaker. There's also one other person coming along with us, but I'm not sure what the cosplay is on that one yet. So keeping the cards close to the chest on that one. Even I don't know.
I'm looking forward to it. But, again, I just love getting involved in all that sort of stuff. And again, I think I'm like many people on the Talks with Dorks team. Like clues in the name, we are all dorks. I'm a massive comic book nerd as well. I love going down and seeing all the cosplay that happens at the Comic Cons as well. So I'm just here for it straight away there. And yeah, being able to throw those signs up, like you said, with the some people might find they have a new favourite wrestler from the people who are on the card that never say die, and being able to quickly make a sign for them and show their support as well. In ways that you can actually see from the ring and even look at and go, there's a sign there for me that wasn't there 5 minutes ago. Clearly I'm doing all right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
we might end up with a kid who wants to make a sign for I don't know, Kings of the Ring maybe.
No.
No.
Boo.
Just no. Well, come on then. We touched on this a little bit ago. Skip. Let it all out. This is a safe place. Nothing's going to happen here tonight. But let's hear it. They've fired some shots. They've said some words directed at you and RJ. And here's your chance. The floor is yours, buddy. Let's hear what you've got to say.
Well, it's nothing that's not been said before. It's no secret that RJ and we're both creeping up there in years. There's a little less up top than there used to be. There's a little bit more grey in the beard than there used to be. But between RJ and there's over 45 years of pro wrestling experience, over 45 years of pro wrestling excellence. We are both, and let me just lean over here and grab something and another thing here. Both RJ and I still are carrying plenty of hardware around with us, and we are both still defeating some of the best and brightest that the UK scene has got. So yeah, we might be a little bit older than some. We might be a little bit longer in the tooth, and we might have a little bit more behind us than ahead of us. But one thing I can guarantee that's going to be ahead of us is a DDT for one half of the Rulers of the Ring and a bionic elbow for the other half. We can never guarantee what the result will be, but it takes a pretty good man to keep the strong dads down, and I don't think Sullivan King and Richie are good enough to do it.
There ain't nothing like dad strength, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
That is a something that can't be
13
taught.
bags of shopping in one go, in one hand, and unlocking the front door.
And them boys are just going to be ordering their groceries off Deliveroo and getting it dropped off at the doorstep, don't you?
They're a pair of Just Eats,
I love that. So great. Like they did mention the age thing. They did mention about young bull, old bull situation, but there did seem to be whether it is covered by a mean face and that. Is it genuine concern from them about what they said about your families and you're not doing right thing for your families by trying to tie up with these youngsters? Are you putting yourself at risk of no?
No, we know the risk every single time, but this, and RJ, we've recorded a little something for this, and I'll give you a little sneak peek because it's going to be out at some point in the next few days where we address it a little bit more intensely. But this is what makes us better. This is what makes us better dads, better men, better people, better at everything we do, because we get to alleviate all of our worries, all of our stresses by throwing hands with people in a wrestling ring. We're very, very fortunate that we can do that. Not everyone has got a productive way to alleviate stress that we do. So whether it's bionic elbows, whether it's iron claws, DDTs, moonsaults, we've got something which lets off a little steam. So we're going to let Sullivan King and Richie see that even though we're dads, we still have got plenty to keep us busy at the weekend.
I mean, I'd love them throwing the old argument out there. I mean, anytime I hear it, I'm like, my immediate thought is, you look at the number of amazing wrestlers who actually did their best work towards, you know, when they were like comfortably in their 40s and even past the fact. I mean, The Undertaker is one of the greatest of all time, and you know, most of what we remember as like his best quality matches during the whole streak period, happened when he was in his 40s, approaching the tail end of his career. You know, it's like, you know, the HBK match. Both men had been in the game for over 20 years by that point, and it's regularly lauded as one of the greatest matches of all time that not a single young lion has come close to topping yet.
Absolutely not. There is absolutely no substitute for experience and class. Another example right now is Randy Orton, who, despite him being in his 40s, is in the shape of his career, doing the work of his career, and is just, there's none better than Randy Orton. So, you know, if that's what wrestling in your 40s is like, then long may it continue.
Yeah, and not only that, the dude is still full time. Like, you know, there's guys who have dropped down by the time they get to his stage, but he is still going on the regular, doing the house shows, putting the graft in, doing everything, and
killing it.
Still competing at the highest level. And, you know, potential spoilers for anyone who's somehow not watched Backlash just yet. I mean, it's worth an ask. Thoughts since Randy Orton's name's come up? John Cena versus Randy Orton. I mean, I take it we all know the outcome by this point.
Yeah.
I've not seen it yet.
I enjoyed it. To me,
we'll
that
do
was
a
two
spoiler-free
Grandmasters.
version then.
2 Grandmasters. That's probably the shortest and spoiler-free version of it.
Running back a lot of the classic spots as well.
Yeah, of course. You know, when you go and see Metallica, you want to hear Nothing Else Matters and Enter Sandman, right?
Yeah.
Play the classics. It's what people want to see. It's what people want to hear.
And I'm not going to lie, you know, a lot of people were really clamouring for this Cena-Orton match. There was a lot of people who were saying that Orton should probably be his last opponent because they've gone through the industry together. As a man who's seen a lot of their classic matches, they've not always been the greatest, and that might get me some heat for that. So I was cautious about how it was going to be, but man, the match absolutely delivered, and I was all here for it right till the final bell.
A few years ago, I was doing the Wrestling 20 Years Ago podcast, and we did like a little indie spin-off for a few months. And one of the matches we actually covered was like, I think it was maybe the 3rd or 4th time they'd faced in OVW.
Wow.
And it was such a different experience from what they did on the main roster, because because like the prototype was so far removed from like Thugonomics, Cena, and Orton. He wasn't quite what he is now, and so it's such a completely different match from what you expect them at any other point in their career. It was a really interesting sort of watch back. Although it's on one of the indie networks. I can't remember which one off the top of my head. It was just one of those ones I sort of saw, and I was like, "Oh, we should cover that," just because obviously the future context of that match would make for some great discussion. And I think it did a few years ago now. But
so, Skip, just before we move on to another discussion about two others that are performing on the show, the Pom Bros. Your buddy RJ, he's pulling double duty on the night.
He is.
He's
getting double wage. Is he getting time and a half? Has that been discussed?
What's that? Sorry. He's
I'll send it in writing.
Yeah. Oh, weird. Oh no, that's fine. No. Yes, stuff, wages and what have you. But no. Speaking of the hardware that you two lumber around, he's PWE men's champion, and he's doing something which I think is ridiculously brave, let alone someone who's doing it on double duty. He's throwing it out there to, well, first come, first serve, perhaps like an open challenge. you're very close with RJ. What's your thoughts on this? Have you?
It's a great idea. If it's completely open, interesting. You know, we joke that we have our annual match against each other, and steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron, and you know, the best you only get better by competing against the best. So, who knows if there's an opening for it? I'm sure there'd be no hard feelings either way. We'll always travel to the show together, and regardless of the result, loser buys dinner. So we'll see what may happen on the day. You never know. Sunset Skip and RJ Singh maybe spending one match in the same corner, and then later on in the evening in the opposing corner.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's a hell of an accolade, the PWE Championship. I've wrestled a lot for Pro Wrestling East. I've probably done some of the weirdest things a wrestler has ever done. I played volleyball in a match for Pro Wrestling East. I lost to Amira via a bug being put in my mouth, and I'm genuinely very squeamish. I thought I was going to be sick in the ring, and luckily I didn't. And I've also had some belting matches for Pro Wrestling East. So it's an incredible championship and a hell of an accolade to have. So yeah, whoever gets to the front of that line will have a tough night against RJ for sure.
I mean, from the sounds of things, there might be some barging at the front of that line as well. I'm curious if multiple people answer the call, whether RJ would really throw it out there and do a multi-person match. I mean, yeah.
God.
I mean, he threw the gauntlet out, funnily enough, to our own Ryan during that chat to see if he can entice him out of retirement. And a little bit behind-the-scenes knowledge, he poked his head into his old wrestling school this week.
Ooh, super relic dusting off the boots.
You can tell the itch is starting to get there, and also, but also the version of him that's been out of the game for a little bit while is thinking, can I? Should I?
That's it.
I'm running the show. Is it worth? Is it going to be the smart decision for me? You can see.
As someone who's taken a lot of time out of the business, it never leaves you. The right thing will bring you back. As I said earlier,
You can see the angel and the devil on his shoulder having the arguments with each other, and talk to the man on different days. He flip flops left, right, and centre. And Parky still doesn't know what he's doing as well.
Well, you know, if I was to kind of put a word in Ryan's ear, you know, what a comeback it would be. Not only challenging for a championship. I don't want RJ to lose. He's my boy. He's my brother. But you know, if you're defeating a bona fide legend for a championship in your first match back, that's. I think Ryan could take the rights to Hollywood for that. That's some Rocky stuff.
And on home turf in Las Vegas as well, you know, like the one place where he did get some noise.
Well,
but
boys,
I have to say,
we're making it. I'll make a script. We'll action the rights by the day after the show if it happens. We could be millionaires this time next year. We could be in Hollywood.
Yeah, and if we need someone to play him in the movie, Kev, can we do a Ryan cosplay by any chance?
Absolutely. I'll work on it right now. I would also like to point out that Skip, RJ, nothing to worry about. I will not be answering the open challenge. I'm sure you've told him
he's
that
bluffing.
He's bluffing.
He's got the gear.
But,
you know,
not me.
Cosplay Nightmare's got some of the best gear. It's probably better than most wrestlers' kit. So you know.
But here's the
do you know what's great? If we're throwing names out there, I've been to the gym like 9 times in the last 4 weeks. So you know, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Fit.
No, I am Spartacus.
There's going to be like a backstage battle royal before the match. So, I mean, it might be easy for RJ. Everyone might sort of tire themselves out. You know, I mean, he's going to have a grueling tag match beforehand. So, I think if we set up this backstage pre-match battle royale, that seems only fair.
I'm getting memories of the worst stages of TNA at this point. We're not doing a reverse battle royal.
First man to make it
the
to the ring.
24/7 championship.
Oh, God.
I was getting throwbacks to that.
Oh God! I think if I was to suggest that to Ian from Pro Wrestling East, he'd have palpitations. Because whenever there was a show, I'd always send him the stupidest ideas possible. And the best part was, a few days later, I'd get a reply from him where he'd take something completely daft that I'd said, and he went, "Yeah, I like that. Let's do it." So,
Latest edition.
I once went to a show where they played Countdown.
oh God!
It was. I'm trying to think exactly how it worked out. Yeah, it was. You had rounds, and in between the rounds was rounds of Countdown.
Oh God! I had a friend who did chess boxing. which sounds eerily similar. So there's one round where you're stretching your mental muscles, and the next round you're getting CTE. So, and then you'd alternate between the two. So it was a hell of a thing, you know. It's you're exercising the old grey matter and then smushing it. So swings and roundabouts, that could be a thing.
From the sound of things, we'll have a swings and roundabouts match before too long.
Oh, now you're talking. Falls count anywhere in the playground. I think I did that once, actually.
We've all done
What hasn't wrestling touched like?
Oh, I have done some of the weirdest and wackiest stuff in wrestling, and I love it. Like, everyone's got cool things and cool opponents and everything like that. Especially in the last 5-6 years post-COVID, I've wanted to do some of the most mad stuff possible. So I've loved it. Wrestled in a brewery, beach bar, a church. It's you name it. All the weird buildings that are possible. If you can fit a ring in there, I've probably had a go.
We need to make sure that.
But we
need to make sure that by the time your career's done,
Sorry, I was
you
gonna-
can put yourself on par with the likes of Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. And I'm not talking Dave Meltzer 5-star matches. I'm talking about the guys who have. I'm talking about the guys who have wrestled an inflatable doll in the ring.
Yes, let's do it. Talks with Dorks Volume 2, Skip wrestles an inflatable doll. It's a niche market. Might sell more, might sell less, but either way, you know.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
Someone
guys,
will buy it.
if you've never seen this before, and if you're watching this video right now and you've never seen it before, you have my permission to close the window and search for this instead. Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi have both wrestled an inflatable doll in DDT wrestling. It is the weirdest and best thing you will ever see, watching Kota by God Ibushi giving himself multiple Canadian destroyers. It's the most fantastic rabbit hole to fall down. DDT wrestling is probably one of the most weird and wonderful thing in the world. And from the sounds of things, Skip can compete.
Hell yeah.
Didn't DDT Wrestling once have a ladder as their champion?
Yes, was it the
Yeah.
Iron Open
The
Weight
yeah.
Championship, something like that? Didn't they have?
The Iron Man Heavy Metal Weight Championship, I think it was called.
That's it. Didn't they
Yeah,
have
that's the one, yeah.
all sorts of inanimate objects win it?
They've had an inflatable panda as
The
one of their
belt itself
a family
once
of them.
won it.
I've wrestled people who are less convincing than inflatable pandas, so I can believe that.
Oh,
But it's not all for the weird and wonderful, is it? Like WWE have had an inanimate object as champion. Like Great Khali is as good as.
Great Khali, who did my favourite advert spot of all time, he did a WWE shop spot, and I think he might have been feuding with Sheamus at the time, but he's just looking through everyone's merch. He's got no idea what he's looking at. He just looks at one. Oh, Daniel Bryan, yes. Sheamus, boo. It's the best thing ever, honestly. Have a look for it, because it's probably 12, 15 years old now, but it's so funny. Yeah, honestly, one of my favourite sort of proto-wrestling memes.
Well, yeah, so we're going to be looking for all our viewers to be looking for a ladder as a champion, blow up doll matches, but just don't search for Kennel from Hell. No one needs to watch that tripe. Stick to the ladders in matches.
You do. Don't listen to Tony. You do. It's a rite of passage.
Make sure.
I think I'm the first ever announce team to physically, midway through a match, pick up the announce desk and move somewhere else in the arena to finish calling the match. I might be the first to do that. It was, so what it was a Survivor Series style match, like 5-on-5. The thing is, the heel side had 3 or 4 of the biggest guys in the company, and that's the corner where the desk was. And so me and the other guy just looked at each other and said, we're not going to be able to see anything here. So just completely straight face, we just got up while still calling the match, walked across. We looked up. The thing is, we looked up. So half the guys in the ring were watching us doing this. The other half had their face buried in the ropes to try and stop people from seeing how badly they were laughing.
Please tell me that this was filmed.
The DVD's on the shelf behind me there.
I now need to seek this out. Just to be watching the match actually happening, and in the background, just seeing you two
Just Chuckle Brothers and an announce table around the hall. Yeah, I'm down for it.
Oh, Ryan's going to come back next week, and we are going to have totally changed everything on the match card just to make it the most amazing bit of wrestle bollocks ever.
Just the maddest shit ever.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're talking. This is my flavour of pro wrestling. If it isn't meaty men slapping meat, just bizarre shit. I love it.
He should never have left us in power.
No. Well, guys, we've got a discussion point now and I want to hear all your thoughts on this. So, the Pom Bros, we got AJ Slambino and Goonie Dad, TikTok sensations, social media icons, debuting for the first time as the Pom Bros on our show, Never Say Die. Who do you think's going to take them on? You got any wants, any thoughts? Kev?
I wouldn't want to throw any names out there, but being a social media guy, I'm definitely firmly in the corner of the social media team. Whoever does decide to take them on, personally, I think they're going to have a challenge on their hands. This might be the first time the two of them have tagged together, but if you've ever watched any of those guys' content, then you know that there's already a connection there. Like, well, regardless of whether they're like thousands of miles apart, we're talking about a team that was destined to be together. So I wouldn't want to speculate who's going to go out there, but I will say that they've got a big challenge on their hands. I'm definitely backing the social media boys. I'm definitely backing the Pom Bros, and I'm just looking forward to. I'm looking forward to their first match.
I mean, if you want to talk about the social media,
Absolutely.
if you want to talk about the social media boys, if you missed last week's pod on episode 6, Parky still doesn't know what he's doing.
This is true. I mean, hey, I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, I said I wasn't going to answer the open challenge, but who knows? Maybe I'm looking for a tag team partner.
Kev, you're doing Cody Rhodes, okay?
Dressing as or doing?
That's for
Different show altogether.
That's for Never Say Die After Dark.
Kev, I've made a executive decision. I've made this without Ryan, but I am putting you in a match, and it will be a pauldron on a pole match because it's my new favourite word. Okay, and
they are detachable.
And you're
quite easy to put them on a pole.
Brilliant. And your opponent is going to be said inflatable doll from earliest convo.
Absolutely. It will literally just be Canadian Destroyer, Canadian Destroyer, Canadian Destroyer.
I'll give you Shiko's
From
agent.
the doll too.
I'm here for it.
From the doll to Kev. Yeah, absolutely. The doll's going over. Spoiler alert.
I've now got this image of Kev lying
Oh,
on the
buddy.
floor trying to make the doll reach the pole from...
Probably an easy way to do that, but I don't think we can say it out loud on the pod.
Oh, is that the time?
Bless you, by the way, Skip. And El, buddy, what about yourself? You got any thoughts, any ideas, any dream matches that you want to see out of this tag team?
I mean, haven't we seen a couple of guys sort of call these guys out? I believe that came up on the Talks with Doors Facebook recently. That Blackadder and Mr. Dexter, I believe they made the call. So that's interestingly, last time I saw them, that was on that show that I called back in December. So I've certainly seen what they're capable of in a tag team situation. Whereas I can't say the same thing for AJ and Goonie Dad, obviously, because Goonie Dad, he's not been out there yet. So,
I mean, if you have been following Goonie Dad on the socials, then man, he has been training.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I do get his stuff on my socials sometimes, so I know he puts a lot of effort into those videos. He puts the same sort of effort into those videos that he's putting into his training, then I can expect that he's going to look good out there. But then again, he's also going in there with zero real match experience, so whoever he's up against is gonna have the advantage, at least in that respect. It's just a case of you guys said how him and Slambino have the great chemistry. I can see that translating to the ring. It's just a case of, is it going to be enough for them to sort of be victorious? So yeah, I mean, I can see sort of Mr. Dexter and Mr. Blackadder being a good shout for them, just because of what they said. I remember it wasn't exactly the nicest thing they had to say. There is, I think there's a few tag teams out there I wouldn't mind sort of seeing the guys sort of tangle with, but if this, as you said, this isn't going to be a one-off, so there's a chance for more and more of this sort of stuff to happen down the line. I'm worried that's a bit of a non-answer that I've given.
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head with the great point of we've got guys who are stamping out their name already, and educated guess might say they're going to take up the opportunity, but with what Skip's been saying tonight and with RJ's double duty, is RJ pulling triple duty? Is Skip pulling double duty? Are we going to see the strong dads go up against the Goonie dad and AJ Slambino?
I mean, who knows? Physically, you've got AJ Slambino's another big boy. There's two meaty men slapping some meat, and Goonie Dad and RJ, they're both within the light heavyweight category, so already it's a pretty even matchup. Who knows? I think that's one of the most exciting things about Never Say Die. It's going to be such a mystery show, so many things that could be possibilities. So yeah, I don't know if RJ, they'd be up for a triple, who knows. I think I can talk him into most things. Between the two of us, we can talk each other into fairly terrible situations. So yeah, why not? We'll dispatch Sullivan and Richie. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but we could do that. RJ can get through the PWE defense, and then why not? Let's go triple. We'll do another tag.
Might need to
show. Yeah, I mean, there is that. I mean, we're going to have a chat with our accounts. We don't have an accounts team, but we might be able to throw like RJ like a Twix or something, maybe a Kinder Bueno. Just for all his hard work and dedication.
Kit Kat Chunky, and he's yours,
mate. I'll get in the ring for a Kinder Bueno.
And there we go. There's the pole match instead of the.
Well, yeah, exactly. Kev needs an opponent.
That's it.
I'm down. Anything for a Kinder Bueno.
Hey Kurt, the wrestling gym that I go to, that's 5 minutes from your house. You could, well, we could train you up real well. You could even accept RJ's open challenge as well. And if it helps, we can give you a Twix and a Kinder Bueno just to sort of sweeten the deal.
I might need a bit. I might need more than a bit of training, mate. I mean, I've not been in the gym in about 30 years.
You don't even know a man called Jim.
And on that note, guys. On that note, guys, thank you very much for one coming on here tonight and giving us all your opinions and introducing yourselves to the audience here. Really happy to meet you all, at least through screen, and can't wait to meet you all on the 31st in Bas Vegas at the Basildon Sport and Leisure Club, May 31st, because it is Never Say Die. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite, and we've got links on our bios and all the rest of it. So, guys, before we sign off, any shout-outs from yourselves, Skip, Elle, Kev, give a shout out to your socials and where people can find you. Skip, go ahead.
So you can find me at Find Sunset Skip on all the usuals: Instagram, Facebook, X, and I've signed up for TikTok. I really have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to pick all the social media guys' brains while I'm there, because I think I've uploaded a grand total of 2 videos on TikTok. Because I don't understand TikTok. I just scroll through it. Although, just my final thoughts. I have deliberately cultivated my TikTok algorithms to be really weird, because all of my other social media algorithms are exactly the same. My TikTok one is purposely weird, and I love it. So yes, at Find Sunset Skip on all of the socials.
Elle.
In the metaverse, I am el.j.comedy. On the Twitter sphere, I am el_j. And on YouTube, you've got my little reaction channel, ELJ Reacts, which is me listening to various different music tracks. Recently just uploaded one of me listening to Kneecap, because they were in the news lately. I was seeing if anyone wanted to see that. Apparently no. I then put one up of Baby Metal, and everyone wants to see that one. That's so it's got over like 2,000 or 3,000 views in like one day. So I'm still working that out, but there's loads of old stuff from there, because I've recently restarted after being away for a year. I mean, I've also got el.j.comedy on TikTok, but it's a lot different from basically everything else you're going to see. It's some very political rants from about 4 years ago. So if you want to see extreme left-wing politics, feel free. I think that's all my socials, or at least all the ones I remember the passwords to anyway.
Awesome, and last but certainly
Yeah,
not
that's
least,
a real thing.
Yeah, last but certainly not least, Kev, the cosplay nightmare. Where can people find you?
Well, you've just answered the question for me. Across the board, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I've literally just launched a YouTube channel. I posted my first video today. All the socials, all across the board, is at the Cosplay Nightmare. If you could go and check out my my YouTube video, it'd be massively appreciated. I'm mostly active on Instagram, TikTok. It's still active, but it's not where it used to be. You're probably best off getting me on Instagram at the Cosplay Nightmare. And like I said, please check out that new YouTube channel as well.
Well, as well as checking out Kev's new YouTube channel, which we're all going to subscribe to, right? And we're going to start liking all his videos. That's exactly what we do as a team. Mm-hmm. Also, check out Tree Frog Grading for all your card collections. They will grade your cards with 15% off by using the code TWD15. Kurt, where can people find you, buddy?
I'm on Facebook, Insta, and X at that Kurt Wilson. And for Tony,
excellent, and me, yeah, I'm Tony of Bingus the 90s. You can mainly find me on TikTok. You can find a little bit of me on Facebook. You can find a tiny bit of me on YouTube there, and then also you can find me on Talk Dork Podcast everywhere.
Awesome, guys.
So, ladies and gents,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll see you May 31st. Never say die. See you later, yogurt chewers.